Charu, welcome to the call. Would you like to give us a bit of a background of what's coming and what have you guys been up to?
We are originally the Unique Network team and kind of been around in Polkadot since Alex has been around maybe since 2020 or even 19 hacking stuff. So Unique Network has been around since the beginning and mainly focused on NFTs and infrastructure and SDKs and all sorts of advanced NFT stuff, everything that's becoming news now. Then we've been working in Polkadot system, like all blockchains have NFTs. And that was the problem we identified around fragmentation, not just in kind of projects and narratives, but also in tech, infrastructure, alignment, all of that. Trying to address that gap, we decided to suggest to the ecosystem to form an NFT collective. And those discussions started almost 2 years ago. And finally, we submitted an application to the Web3 Foundation for a collective, which is now called NFTMozaic. So it's an alliance for all NFT projects, initiatives, rollups, NFT-related rollups in the ecosystem. The intention is to give one view of Polkadot NFTs to builders, business people, anyone who comes into the Polkadot ecosystem to explore NFTs. Unique Network has been also at the same time working on creating NFT XCM for the ecosystem. We've also tested NFT minting speeds, 3 times Polygon, 3 times Solana, something like that last year. So we've been mainly focused on driving the NFT mission forward for Polkadot, first at Unique Network and now in the shape of Alliance. But this call is really for the proposal that we are going to submit, which is in the process still, for MVP grants. Now, the gap we identified in the ecosystem was that a lot of grant programs are just focused on code-related milestones, build the MVP and that's it. Hackathons also, they're very short-term. They're not designed in a way that the builders can add value back to the Polkadot ecosystem. This grant program is inspired from what we did at Unique Network last year under the project called Codecraft program, where we gave small grants to we received 80 applications. We approved 12 out of that. And these grants were in the range of 5 to 10K, where the grant was tied to not just code-related milestones, but an MVP, or which is really end-to-end user journey, kind of a milestone, and then launching the app and onboarding users. So the grant, it was a small grant. It helped these developers build end-to-end user interface that they could launch as a marketing campaign and get validation from the community. So that worked out really well. We wanted to scale that for Polkadot ecosystem and also support it with more resources. We want all of this to happen on the hub. That's what the proposal is about. It's a bounty format so that the distribution of funds to different projects is easy, transparent, and easier for the community to understand as well. We're asking for 100,000 DOT to be given away to about, say, 20 projects with a 10% extra for the curators, because there's a lot of work involved in making sure that the MVP milestones are met, the user onboarding milestones are met. We've done that at Unique Network, and we know how much involvement is required. And Alex, if I've missed out on anything, please add.
We already have a pipeline of, 10, 20 projects that are interested. And the idea here is to steer most of them towards us at Hub, see who of them can kind of go along with the launch of PVM, even though we're working with the Parity team, PVM team, and we're still not impressed. But we know they'll fix it. It's going to kind of make it there. There will be some teams that will go to parachains, but those will need to be justified. The curators will just have 1 seat out of 5. The work we do is paid for by Web3 Foundation grant. We're just switching work to this. And then the curators will be people from BizDev organizations with whom we align. So Web3 Deal Desk, Polky, and people as such. So the whole project is about none of the money goes to us, it goes to growth, and it goes to a very specific growth. So it's a very tied in, a very specific matrix and actual traction and usage. So the feedback we got from Alex and others is that this is too small of an ask, but we think it's important to have something like this that bootstraps use cases, starts kind of testing out the tech, testing out the chain, that gives case studies to show to big projects. That's what we learned everybody needs, and Polkadot Hub certainly needs that, needs to have it. People come in and ask how many apps are on it, and there's like, 2 or 3. Okay, that's it. We kind of want to start changing that and having people launching stuff there, users playing there, etc., etc.
So thanks so much for the introduction. That was neat. Just one thing I'd like to ask, Charu, I think you talked about this, but a bit more clarity there would be great. So I think last year there was a grant to Unique, or was it a bounty?
Yeah, that was Unique.
Okay, this is kind of different, but Alex, I would imagine like you would be kind of leading this, I guess, right? Because you've been working with NFTs since 2019 in the
Yeah.
What from that grant would contribute into this effort?
The NFT XCM, we built all the stuff that we promised we built, and it's been sitting in fellowship for a PR approval for about 6 months or so, maybe more, until I kind of took Adrian, like, what the hell do you need to sign here, okay? The type of a thing. And he said, I don't know anything about NFTs. Somebody who knows NFTs needs to kind of review this. So I went and I found I have a relationship with a guy who at Parity who created the NFTs palette, who they laid off a year and a half ago. And I convinced him to do the review because he knows the stuff better than anybody. So he did that, and we finally got it approved. 1 PR, there's going to be 2 more, but they're smaller, they're in process. So after they're done, then we can have production schedule. And we started now campaigns around it because we didn't have into the test nets. We created a dev net where people can play with. We did the integration for Moonbeam, for Asset Hub, and so on. And we are starting actually now. We gave the demo stuff to a few kind of groups to test out and see there. And so we're going to slowly start the campaign on it as we know the production schedule. My guesstimate is that thing is going to go live in, later part of the year, just by knowing how Parity is conservative about putting things in production, maybe to coincide around PVM and stuff. And for this campaign, it's going to be cool because we are starting now the ideas content, because cross-chain NFTs is something kind of, it's not really a thing anywhere. Nobody else has XCM except for Polkadot. So we're the first to have that kind of tech and that kind of use case that's so easy. In all the other chains, you have to bridge it across chains, and that's horribly risky, hard, expensive, blah, blah, blah. Here it's cheap, it's easy, and so on. So we're going to start the campaigns on ideas for that. The first use case, actually, Charu has a very good idea. The campaign will be for anybody doing kind of any NFT work on any parachains to make a hub a reserve chain as a kind of backup, because Asset Hub will be there forever and parachains, who knows? So, that kind of use case is the first idea, and it works well for the Polkadot Hub kind of narrative we're talking about. And so I expect that we still have 10,000 DOT left in the different bounties on that, and you will be seeing that increasingly as we get closer to production and so on. We could have done the marketing blah blah blah, here it's done blah blah blah, but it's useless unless people can actually use it. So
you want to get the product to a solid place before embarking on all the expansion marketing and etc. And from what I understand, in the last year, you guys have been working on basically the protocol side of things, right?
for that project, that was it. One of our guys, as a result, is a part of fellowship now.
Going forward with this initiative, you mentioned about 10, 20 projects.
20, yeah.
20 projects. So how do you pick these projects, and what are the criteria, and what is interesting about them?
I can tell you how it worked at Unique. To find candidates is easy. We had 80 in a year, and this is Polkadot. It's going to be easier. We already have about 15 or 20 of them. The criteria is, first of all, if the quality of the stuff they want to do and can do is there. We evaluate the team and the quality of the idea. Hub does not have much except for Polkadot and their loyalty app. Anything new will be kind of interesting. The general focus strategy, nothing on here will be on collectibles. The strategy, we created a positioning of Polkadot in NFTs, and the key verticals there are AI, gaming, and entertainment, those kinds of things. We came to these ourselves, and these are the same verticals that the Sales Hub guys came as, after very thorough research, came as the most promising. So we will give preference to those, but it's going to be a combination of how ready they are and so on. Again, the payouts are all 30% is when they delivered the app, and 70% is when they attracted users. So it's not like we give money up front and we don't know what's going to happen. We pay for the users at the end of the day.
If you can give us a brief example of one or two apps that can possibly be done by those teams. And the second question is, if it's like a bounty style, what about if some of the teams won't hit the second milestone? What's going to be with the funds? It's going to be returned to treasury or used for another team, or how you will handle those funds?
Well, I don't know. I didn't think through that much. If it can be reused for another team, it might make sense. I guess we should think that through.
It's likely that there may be some funds left over which will be returned, but some projects will get less than 5,000, some may get more than that, and depending on the scope of their project. And that's what we did at Unique as well. Some projects received 5K, some projects received 10K that had a bigger potential to onboard users.
Okay, thanks.
Let's see the proposal, and good luck to you guys.
Thanks for your time.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye. Bye.